Hey guys, this is Mark Howard, author of the Griffin Legends fantasy novel series. Thanks for joining me here. So guys, it has been an extremely long time since I've posted a video, and I apologize for that. Life has gotten unreasonably busy, and we've had a lot of things happen, some good, some bad. And with the limited time, it unfortunately just got harder and harder to get any kind of videos posted for a while. So let's give you a little bit of an update here, right? We'll start with the bad news first because we want to just get that out of the way. Around the time that I posted my last video, work was starting to get extremely busy, right? And that's kind of natural, right? You know, there's busy seasons and less busy seasons, and so it was just getting into one of those periods where there was a lot on my plate during the day job, and finding time to make these little videos, even though I know that it's not real high quality production or anything like that. It was just hard to find even that few minutes in the day to find a quiet spot, start the camera rolling, talk for a few minutes, and then, you know, upload it onto YouTube here. So that was part of it. Well, things got worse from there. Certain things about my health started getting a little worse here. It was harder to get some of that stuff under control. And then in February, I actually lost my job. I was fired, which it came out of the blue. I was not expecting it. There had never been a warning or an indication that my performance was ever inadequate, right? This completely blindsided me. What happened was a customer complained to my supervisors about me specifically and said, if you do not take care of Mark Howard, we will pull our business. Now, that's not an insignificant threat when you're in the corporate world and we are talking about investments of hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And so it didn't matter that I had all the evidence necessary to disprove this customer's claim. The arithmetic was pretty simple, right? My salary versus what this customer was willing to pull out from the business. And so it was goodbye, good luck. The magnitude of the complaint is just too big for us to ignore. Have fun, Mark. So I'm not terribly upset at having actually lost that job. It was a boring job. It was something that I felt was an extreme underutilization of my talents, my skills. But of course, as some of you who have families, regular bills to pay, all that sort of stuff, you recognize that that can be highly detrimental, right? Your whole world can be turned upside down. And so I've spent a while trying to rebalance priorities, figure out a new schedule. Job searching is always less than fun, right? And so a lot of my time has been caught up in that stuff. And unfortunately, I still don't have a good replacement to that last job where I can bring in the same amount of money or even anything remotely close to what I was making at that last job. So that's been a bit of a downer there. and it's we're still not quite recovered from that, even though here we are in July. Now, on the plus side, around the same time where I was getting fired, I actually got picked up by a new publisher for my first 2 books here. Godfrey's Crusade and Godfrey Under Siege are now picked up by Warrington Publishing here. Now, of course, you know, I wouldn't dare say I'm a big-time author by any stretch of the imagination, but this is a big deal, right? Now I've got these books here being published by someone other than myself, and so it takes a little bit of the pressure off of me for all the marketing and, you know, stuff to do with Amazon and that less than fun stuff that authors really just don't want to have to deal with. So that's a good thing in a lot of ways. And it leaves me free to do more of what I really love, which is writing my books, right? A little fact that some of you may or may not be aware of is most indie authors, people who are self-published, need to spend about 80% of their time marketing their books. That's a huge task, right? And when you've got a day job, when you've got a spouse, when you've got children, when you've got outside responsibilities, and, you know, heaven forbid you have some sort of hobby outside of writing, you have precious little time to keep up with it all. And why so many first-time authors end up quitting is because it's overwhelming. And so the having at least a few of those obstacles removed from me makes it so that now I can just focus on writing the 3rd book in this series and getting that out to you faster than it might have come otherwise. I think in the last video that I posted, I said that I was on chapter 3-ish or so of Godfrey Before the Phoenix. Now we are on chapter 14. In fact, by the time you watch this video, I will be finished with chapter 14 of Godfrey Before the Phoenix. There's still a ways to go on this book. I have 25 chapters in total planned, but having 14 of those chapters done, you know, it's like, okay, we're more than halfway through now, right? There's light at the end of the tunnel. And so I hope to be finished with this book before the end of this year. You can't really predict how long these things are going to take, right? While I was working at my last day job, I would have told you that I would have actually been done with the 3rd book by now at the pace I was writing. But again, my world got turned upside down for a little bit, had to reevaluate, reprioritize, and so I'm hoping that I can get something like a chapter done per week from here on out, and that should push me to around the end of the year getting done with Godfrey Before the Phoenix. But of course, I can't make promises. If there's only one thing I can promise, it's that I am still working on it. And in fact, I've actually been doing a lot for the Griffin Legends series here over the last several weeks. If you check out my social media, you'll see that we've got some new art commissions coming along. So some various scenes from mostly Godfrey's Crusade and Godfrey Before the Phoenix. A couple of things are in the queue from some of the short stories I've written in the same setting. And we're working with a good artist here on these things, and it's really good quality. I'm very happy with what we're seeing there. So that's one thing that is coming down the pipe. We've got a new map in the works, again by my brother Chris, who has just been phenomenal in his devotion to volunteering his time to help bring this setting to life. So big shout out to Chris, and thank you so much for that. My wife Summer is in the later stages of her prequel series for the Griffin Legends, and so we're working hard on that. That's been another thing we've been touching on just about every night after she's getting home from her job, and so hopefully that one comes out to us sooner rather than later too. And so yeah, we are doing a lot for this series. I got a new website up from a good friend of mine from my last job. His name is Alex. He's helped a lot. Again, all volunteer work, so I'm exceptionally grateful for Alex's efforts there as well. If you're watching, thanks, Alex. But yeah, so there's stuff happening. It's coming down the pipe, and I'm hoping to be able to share more with you as time goes on. Of course, I'm going to try to be a little bit more diligent on getting videos up to you guys. I think that big gap we've had is not really excusable here, but it is what it is. And I'm so glad that you guys are tuning in still, and that we've actually gotten a few new subscribers as of late. So thank you so much to those of you who have only recently discovered me and willing to come in here and see what's going on. Whether you are a new viewer or if you've been with me a while, please check out my newsletter and my social media. That's where I try to keep a lot of the big updates here. Even if I can't make a video all the time, I am still communicating through social media and newsletters on my website and that kind of stuff. So if you have not had the chance to check those out, please shoot me an email, send me a message on Facebook or X. Let me know how you're doing. Tell me what you like about my fantasy stuff. Tell me what you're looking forward to. Tell me things you think that maybe I can improve on, right? I'm early enough in my author career that I am very open to suggestions still, right? We're all going on this journey together here. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys. It means a lot to me to see that you're still there, you still care, and we're hopefully going to have more good news coming to you in the coming weeks. Thanks so much, and have a good one.